The venue for the US-Russia summit has been finalized. It is not the previously rumored United Arab Emirates, but Alaska in the United States. Any discerning person can see that the United States has firmly grasped the home court advantage. If we want to negotiate, we have to follow its rules. As for the second round of talks being held on Russian territory, it is just adding a bit of superficial fairness to this US-led game. Trump's expectations for this summit are almost written all over his face. To put it nicely, he wants to mediate the Russia-Ukraine conflict. To be blunt, he has long imagined the Nobel Peace Prize certificate in his mind countless times. After all, he has indeed been busy in recent years. The gunfire on the India-Pakistan border had just stopped when he quelled the territorial dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. When the situation between Israel and Iran was at a critical point, he intervened to stir things up, and even dragged the presidents of Azerbaijan and Armenia to the White House to force them to sign a peace agreement. Now, the deadlock in the Russia-Ukraine conflict has become the last piece of the puzzle for his sprint to the title of Nobel Peace Prize. But mediation is not that easy. The current situation between Russia and Ukraine is a deadlock. To break it, either one side suffers huge losses or both sides take a step back. Trump is quite clever. Coming up with a bad idea of territorial exchange, cutting out a piece from the 4 eastern Ukrainian regions to create a buffer zone where British and French peacekeeping forces are stationed. This trick is indeed quite insidious. On the surface, it seems like a lively situation, but in reality, it's allowing NATO's claws to quietly stretch into Ukraine. Whether Ukraine can join NATO is a matter for later. Once British and French troops are stationed there, it will be equivalent to putting a NATO dog leash on Ukraine. By then, Russia will have to cede territory and cease fire, while Western sanctions against Russia remain untouched. Putin is no fool. How could he swallow such a condition of winning the war but still having to give up land? That said, talks still have to happen. Just like the Korean War back in the day, no matter how much South Korea kicked up a fuss, the armistice agreement still had to be signed. The Russia-Ukraine war has dragged on for so long that both sides are nearly exhausted, making a short-term truce quite possible. However, at the negotiating table, the EU and Ukraine won't even get a chance to interject. After all, the current situation has long become a contest between the 2 major powers of the US and Russia, with small countries left only as onlookers. Putin has his own calculations too. When he called China a while back, it was less about seeking help and more about weighing the cards in his hand. Russia really doesn't have many chips left, but it hasn't reached the point of kneeling and begging for mercy. If things really go according to Trump's script, with NATO troops entering Ukraine and refusing to leave, and sanctions remaining in place, then Russia would have fought this war for nothing, and Putin would lose both face and substance. As for Trump, while he talks about aligning with Russia, he's actually only playing America's game. The US and Russia are inherently competitors. Even if they barely reach an agreement this time, it won't last long. But he doesn't care. As long as he can use the mediation of the Russia-Ukraine war to show off American leadership to the world and make the EU and Ukraine toe the line, this move will be worthwhile. No one can guarantee what will happen if the talks collapse, whether NATO will directly enter the fray. But one thing is clear, this game no longer has a perfect ending. Either both sides keep dragging it out until one can't hold on and admits defeat, or they negotiate a truce filled with hidden agendas, laying the groundwork for the next round of rivalry. In the end, Trump's dream of a Nobel Peace Prize, Putin's bottom line as a major power, and the countless fates caught in the crossfire of the Russia-Ukraine battlefield will all face a cold weighing on the negotiating table in Alaska.